Well, we got some huge news. Meta, formerly known as Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, admitted that the Biden-Harris administration pressured his company to censor Americans. Now, if you would have said Facebook was censoring people a few years ago, you would have been called a conspiracy theorist. But here we are with the CEO himself confirming that what many were criticized for questioning is, in fact, a reality. Hey guys, welcome back to the Conservative Core, where our goal is to shine a light on the ridiculousness of the left. If you are tired of the lies the media is spilling, consider hitting the subscribe button, notification button, and like button. In a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, Zuckerberg detailed how, back in 2021, senior officials from the Biden and Harris administration were repeatedly pressuring Facebook for months to remove pandemic-19 content. This wasn't limited to misinformation or harmful content. No, the administration was even targeting humor and satire. That's a chilling level of government overreach into what should be an independent platform. Now, before I break down the letter more, we need to share a clip of Alejandro Mayorkas discussing all of this under oath back in 2022.
Now, you said earlier this year that you disbanded the Disinformation Governance Board, which I thought was totally unconstitutional, but that turns out to be, at best, misleading. That's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what you're doing. Your own quadrennial review, which was just reported in the press, says that disinformation is going to be the new focus at DHS. The Quad Review says that DHS plans to target, I'm quoting now, inaccurate information domestically on a wide array of subjects, including, quoting, the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic, the efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines, racial justice, U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the nature of U.S. support for Ukraine. A federal judge has just found as a finding of fact, Mr. Secretary, that your office, and I'm going to quote now, is supervising the nerve center of federally directed censorship. Here's another email, August 20th, 2021. Facebook writes again to HHS and highlights that Facebook is increasing the strength of our demotions for COVID and vaccine-related content. April 16th, 2021, Rob Flaherty at the White House circulates a Zoom meeting invitation to Twitter employees stating White House staff will be briefed by Twitter on vaccine misinformation. We have example after example of this administration coordinated, apparently, according to a federal court, by your agency, pressuring, coercing social media companies to engage in censorship. Is that constitutional?
That is unequivocally false.
Is what the emails show.
It is unequivocally false, Senator.
You are not pressuring the big tech companies to take down accounts. You are not meeting with them to ask them to censor on your behalf.
That is correct. We are not.
Mr. Secretary, it has been established for years in this country, as you very well know because you're a lawyer, that the federal government may not use private third parties to engage in activities that are unconstitutional. That's exactly what you and this administration are doing. You are leveraging private companies to carry out censorship on your behalf. It's dystopian, but worse than that, it's unconstitutional.
It's also false.
Okay, now that you have watched the video, it is clear he is not 100% honest here. And it is important for everyone to understand that everything Zuckerberg told Chairman Jim Jordan the other day contradicts everything Mayorkas said back in 2022, and we all know why. But now let's get back to what Zuckerberg said. When Facebook resisted this pressure, the frustration from the White House was intense. Zuckerberg's letter makes it clear the administration's attempts to control online discourse were not just occasional nudges, but relentless attempts to shape what Americans could see and say about the pandemic of 2019. Zuckerberg also throws some shade at the administration by expressing regret. He admits, I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. He acknowledges that with hindsight, Meta might have made different choices that wouldn't have compromised their content standards under governmental pressure. But I am curious what you think. Is Zuck being sincerely here? Or is he just trying to cover his behind? Let me know in the comments below. But what is even more ridiculous is that a response from the White House claimed their actions were responsible. LOLOK. But it gets even worse. Zuckerberg also owned up to censoring the New York Post's October 2020 story on Hunter Biden's laptop, a story revealing alleged corruption involving the Biden family. Meta's decision to demote the story was based on a vague FBI warning about a potential Russian disinformation operation. In retrospect, Zuckerberg acknowledges that this was a mistake and that the story should not have been suppressed. But here's the kicker though. Zuckerberg's previous attempts to downplay the situation were not nearly as candid. On Joe Rogan's podcast in 2022, he shrugged off the suppression, saying it sucks but defended the process. Now, he's faced with undeniable evidence of his company's overreach and is promising that such censorship won't happen again. He's even pledged not to donate anymore or get involved in this year's election. Free speech is what keeps our democracy alive. Free speech is the bedrock of a free nation. We must keep it and do everything in our power to keep it that way. Without it, we lose our ability to challenge those in power, stifle innovation, and protect minority views. And RFK said it best when he sat down with Tucker. Take a listen.
So in their current formulation, misinformation is defined as any speech that criticizes the job that they're doing. So with that in mind, you see the Biden administration encouraging France, Macron, to arrest the owner and founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, who's now, as of right now, in a French prison, that seems like, I mean, that's the hallmark of dictatorship, it sounds to me.
Yeah, well, we've lost Europe. Europe is now, does not have free speech. Look what's happened to Elon Musk. And Elon Musk should be the hero of the Democratic Party. Of the old Democratic Party, he would be the hero. Somehow he became a villain because he was actually the only platform that would allow free speech on his platform. And he's now become a villain because of it, because the Democratic Party does not believe in the people. If you don't believe in free speech, it means because you don't trust the people. You don't trust them to figure it out on their own, to have information on which they can base their ideas and their notions and their beliefs.
And their votes.
And that the government has to protect them from dangerous information, from things that might put bad ideas into their heads. And it's very patronizing, but it's also very manipulative and conniving, and really it's exactly the opposite of democracy. And
our FK Jr. is absolutely right here. It's shocking that someone like Elon Musk, who actually supports free speech, is demonized by the Democratic Party. If the party is turning against free speech, it shows a disturbing lack of faith in the people's ability to think for themselves. The Democratic Party has turned into something unrecognizable, and the fact that a party in the USA could become that tyrannical is a bit hard to really grasp. And this isn't just a disagreement over policy, it's an attack on the core of democratic values. When you start questioning whether people can handle open dialogue and make informed choices, you're undermining democracy itself. It's a dangerous path that suggests an erosion of trust in the very principles that should guide our society. The old Democratic Party Kennedy is speaking about has been gone for a while now, but I'm glad to see him come to this realization and fight back against what the Democratic Party has become. But that leads us to the next big thing. If you are new here, you may not be aware that the Harris administration wants to silence and control what we can and can't say. Heck, I mean, just take a listen to what the potential Vice President Tim Walz, who is on the Harris ticket, wants to do with free speech.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Walz's comments reflect a broader push by the administration to regulate and restrict free expression. This isn't just about occasional lapses in judgment or policy errors. It's about a systematic effort to reshape how we communicate and share information, and they are all for this. When Harris and Walz speak, we need to listen. They are not trying to hide their goals. The implications are enormous. If the Harris administration somehow wins in November with Walz's backing and pushes forward with these ideas, it will fundamentally alter our country forever. And in Europe, they are already going down that path. The arrest of Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram, over issues related to free speech is a troubling development. Durov has been a vocal advocate for digital privacy and freedom of expression, making this arrest a significant blow to those values. It's alarming to see someone who has championed open communication and privacy facing legal consequences for standing up for free speech. It is a disturbing attack on free speech and a threat not just to Telegram, but to any online platform. Governments should not engage in censorship. This is a blatant and deeply troubling overreach of power, and they can try to spin this any way they want, like Emmanuel Macron posting on X saying, "I have seen false information regarding France following the arrest of Pavel Durov. France is deeply committed to freedom of expression and communication, to innovation, and to the spirit of entrepreneurship. It will remain so. In a state governed by the rule of law, freedoms are upheld within a legal framework, both on social media and in real life, to protect citizens and respect their fundamental rights. It is up to the judiciary in full independence to enforce the law. The arrest of the president of Telegram on French soil took place as part of an ongoing judicial investigation. It is in no way a political decision. It is up to the judges to rule on the matter. But literally, no one believes this. Pavel Durov's arrest is a stark reminder of the disturbing reality facing free speech advocates today. After fleeing Russia due to government attempts to control Telegram, Durov found refuge only to be apprehended by a Western ally, a NATO member, and supporter of the Biden administration. This is not the outcome anyone would expect. A staunch defender of free speech now sits in a French jail, a chilling testament to the lengths governments and intelligence agencies will go to silence dissent. The arrest underscores a frightening trend where even platforms in democratic nations are pressured to suppress the truth. As the world grapples with increasing censorship, the freedom of expression is under severe threat. And with a Harris administration in the White House, this could happen right here in the US. Well, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video for more conservative news daily. See you in the next one.